grueling tournament so far. We've had some ups, we've had some downs. We've had a lot of Protoss, and even some Terran as well. As we're diving into our semis, we have our two players. If you are in the chat, predictions. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. You have 2 minutes in Twitch chat to place your bets on who you believe will take the series. Will it go the way of the Terran or the Protoss? Up to you to decide. Predictions open. Best of luck. Good luck with your Gamba. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our Chinese Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Weibo Gaming. It is Jieshi. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Cloud9. It is GuMiho. GuMiho. Let's go. And I mentioned before that I expect to see mech at some point in this series. GuMiho, he plays mech like no other in TvP. I mean, even Maru has flexed with mech in the past as well. We saw it at Stars War 11. Even Maru playing mech after he saw GuMiho do it. But it's not like he does it every game. It's not every game that he embraces mech against Protoss. He does sprinkle it into a series. Site Delta would not be a bad map to flex it on, but we'll see. To flex it out, even. See how he does embrace this. For now, we are going for a double gas opener. Double gas here by GuMiho is leading to a faster factory into a delayed CC. Meanwhile, back at home, Jieshi going for a gate expand, going for a more economic start on the side of the Protoss. Is going for his economic start. Just gate expand into the cyber core. Back at home, this is that factory on the way, and we are waiting to see what GuMiho is going to be embracing with this. Whether we go into a Widowmine drop, into Cyclones, into a bit of a kitchen sink and go for some drop play, or even a Banshee opener. This could technically even be the beginnings of a one-base all-in. I'm not fond of one-base all-ins on Site Delta. I would not be surprised if GuMiho does it at some point in the series, but on a large map like this, it's more of a rarity. Just because of how long the rush distance is, likewise how defendable the natural is with this ramp. And there it is. We have our expansion on location. So GuMiho just going for the factory into CC. First Widowmine is on the way, meanwhile Reaper does slip into the main, and we get eyes on the tech of choice on the Twilight Council. GuMiho, he sees all, he knows all, is aware of what Jieshi is up to. GuMiho does rotate around, threatens the natural. Adept able to keep up. And we even went for a second Reaper. This is more of an oddity. You would not necessarily go into the second Reaper quite like this. And we do bypass the first Adept. We go for the mineral line, probes under fire. We get, oh, one probe kill. Likewise, we slip into the main. GuMiho, he already got eyes on the tech. We'll be confirming. Blink is on the way. Gonna be a one-way trip here as the Reaper is gonna be cleaned up at the same time. Another Widowmine waddling into the natural. We're going for the mineral line. We don't quite make it. Force to borrow. Yeah, one probe going down. Just the one probe, so not too worth it here for GuMiho. As he is forced out, we have additional Widowmines on the way. Medevac as well. And we are not stopping Widowmine production. Okay. We're waddling out. So this is a little bit old school. You don't often see Widowmine openers like this anymore. The reason for this is the nerf. Because of the nerf to the Widowmine drop openers used to be the meta. They used to be so common in this matchup. Oh no! Oof. They used to be so commonplace. But after the nerf to the Widowmine, we see it less and less. It's more of a rarity nowadays. Some of the Koreans like GuMiho, Bjorn, Maru, they like to mix it in every now and then. But for the most part, it's nowhere near as popular as it once was. Again, the Widowmine, the radius was reduced. Likewise, Protoss players also get an alert whenever they do burrow as well. It is easier to defend than it once was. So a lot of the Terran players have been shying away from it. Have been shying away, but not GuMiho. Not him. So the Widowmine drop headed towards the main. And does Jieshi respond in time? Looks like he will. Does pull away. Up. Getting one probe, getting two probe kills so far. Two probe kills, another Widowmine waddles into the third base. We get 2 extra workers, 4 in total. That's an okay trade. It's okay. As the Widowmine survives and GuMiho gets eyes on the third Nexus, is aware of the more economic build here from the Protoss. Only two gateways. So 2 gate blink into a third. Very economic start here out of Jieshi. And GuMiho does confer. Back at home, GuMiho is building up. Getting into our 3-1-1. Stim is on the way. Combat shields working towards that Stim timing. And we'll see if Jieshi can keep up. When am I shot going off? Ooh, big connection. 3 more probes, and we do escape. GuMiho getting a lot done here with these Widow Mines. More than we expect. It's been 9 probe kills so far. Whether it's been with Widow Mines or Reapers, it's been good damage so far. Likewise, Jieshi dancing with the army. Third CC's on the way, on location. Try to keep an eye on the Widow Mine drop. Not going in yet. Oh my god. As Jieshi tries to focus down those Marauders, unable to. Nice micro out of GuMiho. Serving those Marauders, pushing out. Likewise, mine drop towards the natural. Once again, oh my god, we do react in time. GuMiho with the unborrow, buying time here with that mine drop, and no, we come back, no, we come back too soon. Jieshi a little bit distracted. GuMiho, he hits the third base, and alas, Jieshi, his attention was elsewhere. The entire mineral line goes down, and the Stalkers, they can't escape. We're still on forward. We collapse here on top of the army. More boys going down, and that's 26 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. And even though we are holding on, even though we shut down this drop, it's far too much. It's 2 mineral lines worth of workers falling in an instant. Jieshi's all in, but as time goes on, GuMiho will be able to rebuild, remax, maintain an army. Jieshi cannot. Jieshi's on the timer. We're on a timer, Papi. Who's Jieshi? Name change? No. Jieshi's been Jieshi for years. Many years. As we dive on forward, we focus on the Stalkers, collapse on top of the army itself. GG gets called, and GuMiho will take game number 1. Ooh. Jieshi's Jieshi, yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. Jieshi's Jieshi. If you maybe are a newer viewer to StarCraft, then maybe you'd be unfamiliar. Jieshi's been competing for a couple of years at this point. His rise to fame was around the COVID era of StarCraft, so 2020-ish era is when Jieshi was really kind of getting on the radar. Even before then, actually, like 2019, 2018. Has been competing for quite some time. Actually, you might be, I believe technically, there was there a name change back in the day? Was Jieshi Mystery? Yes. Okay, so if you're an old school viewer, there was a name change back in WCS. Back in WCS, Jieshi did compete. Was it in WCS? Like Heart of the Swarm era of StarCraft. Jieshi went by Mystery. He went by Mystery. And I believe he played in WCS Premier League, I believe. So if you're familiar with the ID Mystery, then he went by that back in Heart of the Swarm, and then he changed to Jieshi, like in Legacy of the Void. So maybe you're more familiar with his old ID in Heart of the Swarm, maybe. Tis possible. But for now, we are going to be settling in. Yeah, all good. But that was back when, that was before EBT, back when WCS Premier League was a thing. When the regions would otherwise come together, but here we go. Yo, I've been so tempted sometimes to like, if my brain turns off, and I'm not calling Hearthstone out too much, but there have been times where I'm sleep deprived. If we load into a game that I'm casting, and then reactively, like, my instant reflex is to open up the chat box and to type in GLHF, right? Like, just like assuming I'm in a ladder game. It's just a reflex sometimes. Like, if you're a little bit out of it. I'm assuming that's what just happened. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming. It is Jieshi. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Cloud9, going for another double gas opener. It is GuMiho. It's a nice reflex to have. It is nice. It is. But I have done that before. Like deep late in the hours of the cast. Your brain is just on autopilot. You forget where you are. Yeah. Aye. As of now, we are going to be settling in. Again, with the double gas opener, it's going to be leading into a faster factory from GuMiho. We saw last game that this led into just mass Widowmine. just non-stop Widowmine production, going for the jobs, going for the waddle buys. I mean, I say non-stop, it was like 5 Widowmines in total, but it felt like a lot. Just because GuMiho got so much done with them, a surprising amount of damage, did basically win the game off of the back of those mine drops. Just pulling Jieshi apart, crippling his economy, forcing the all-in. But now we're settling into game number 2, and we'll see if we can bounce back. As our Reaper moves out, gets eyes on the second gateway. Save that opener here out of Jieshi, going for a gate cyber into expansion. I mean, the previous game we saw a slightly faster base. This time, faster cyber core. Just a bit of a safer start here from the Protoss. A bit of a safer start. Meanwhile, once again, we have our tech of choice. Going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Jieshi. Twilight Council with the blink. Reaper dips in, but alas, we won't be able to grenade ourselves over. It's a solid wall. Wall is solid. GuMiho getting into his 1-1-1. Getting into his 1-1-1 build. Of course, CC on the low ground. And that is an early tank. Uh-oh. Okay, we're not going for the add-on swap. Tech Lab is sticking with the factory. Tank is on the way. And we're getting ready for a very early push. A big scout. Hallucination does confirm the Tech Lab, so big moment here for Jieshi. He's now aware that the tank is on the way. When it comes across the map, the goal I imagine for GuMiho is to get on top of these production buildings. The gateway, the cyber core. Jieshi does throw down a 3rd gateway, thankfully. So he's going to have a 3-gate blink setup. Very defensive. Meanwhile, here comes the tank. Now, knowing is half the battle. At least Jieshi is aware of the tank that's coming out. And can we respond in time? Robo's on the way. Jieshi does delay his expansion. It looked like he did want to expand earlier, but was delayed. The army is distracted. Tank is coming in. And Jieshi does pull back. Thankfully, we do pull back home. Drop in towards the main base. A brutal positioning for the tank. Not going for the add-ons, but not going for the production, but going for the mineral line. Pylon is going to be shut down. Stalkers are pushing in. At the same time, Reaper Hellion zoned away. Medevac under fire, and the Medevac will survive. Oh! Will not. Barely gets cleaned up, and it looks like we will shut this down. Alas, 5 probes fall. Where we get another Stalker. That was 4 Stalkers, 1 Sentry, 5 probes, and a Pylon for a drop of Marines and a tank. I mean, I would say that was a decent trade for GuMiho, bearing in mind that he delayed the 3rd base with this as well. He delayed the 3rd, he traded with Stalkers. That means that I mean, we have that much less to punish GuMiho. Back at home, we have another tank already set up. We have 2 tanks even. We're solid. We're looking quite solid here. And for GuMiho to have a comparable worker count means that, I mean, he's ahead economically. He's got mules. We have mules. We have as many SCVs as there are probes. Big tank wall is going up. Stalkers cannot break in. And GuMiho is looking solid. Jieshi has some catching up to do. We're working towards charge and water production. Bay's on the way. For eventual Colossus. And really what I'm curious about is whether or not GuMiho throws down a 3rd CC. Or if we just go for a 2-base all-in. Like, we've already got our 3-1-1 set up. We have the 1 eBay for +1. And the question, do we expand or do we just send it? Oh, the observer! The turret's in position and we catch the observer! Ooh, that's scary. There's a scary moment here for Jieshi. Hellion slips into the main. We get a full scout. We confirm the 3rd at Nexus. Now, what's scary here is that without that observer, that means we won't see the move out. That means if we pull the boys, we won't see it. We won't see it coming. There we go. 2 more Raxes on the way. Not a 3rd CC. This is looking more and more like a 2-base all-in. Tanks are moving out. 4 tanks. Mass bio. Double drop on the right-hand side. GuMiho is going to be expanding, or at least getting in position for one. Let's see if he does embrace it. Stalker is being forced back. There we go. 3rd CC on location. We are not, technically we are not all in, but we are committed. We're still very committed here. We do see the scan. Doesn't spot the main army. Yeah, Jieshi is in position. At the same time, we drop into the main base. Oh, good. We just carpet bomb the mineral line. And pylon's going down. GuMiho pushing in towards the 3rd. And Jieshi's in trouble. He's being pulled apart. We deny +1. The Forge falls. The Forge does fall. Massive tank volley is going off. We shut down the Colossus and the Immortal. GG gets called. And just like that, GuMiho will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Wait, yeah. GG, well played. I didn't quite update out of game, but GuMiho will take the series here 2-0. And we're getting ready for the lower semifinals. Oh, as we are heading over to the European region. GG, well played. We do have some updates. As a reminder, Max Packs took down Bjorn earlier. Bjorn did fall to Max Packs. And we have another update coming in. Showtime took down Classic 2-0. Showtime is our next semi-finalist. And that means we have Showtime versus Max Packs in our lower semis. Let's go. It's going to be a PvP.